Hello students, today we're going to be talking about inequalities. You picked up a notes page right when you walked in today. We're still in Unit 7 and it's called Intro to Inequalities. That's going to be page 116 in your math binder. Make sure you fill that out in your table of contents for me. Once you filled out your table of contents, when looking at your notes page, at the very top it says Intro to Inequalities. At the very top of our notes page, it says an equation uses an equal sign to show that both sides are equivalent. Okay, so we know because of the equal sign that both sides of our equation are equal to each other. Now, an inequality shows that both sides may not actually be equal to each other. So we have been working with inequalities or your alligator mouths for quite some time. Remember, your symbols are greater than, alligator mouth facing to the left. There's a greater than or equal to, which you guys may or may not have seen before. We have our less than symbol with the alligator mouth facing to the right. And the less than or equal to symbol is our alligator mouth facing to the right but with a line underneath it. The line underneath our alligator mouth essentially just means that that value is in fact equal to, and then anything greater than that value or less than that value, depending on whether or not you're using the greater than or equal to symbol or the less than or equal to symbol, is your answer. And that will become more clear as we get into today's lesson and start using those inequality symbols. So now I'm going to use an inequality symbol to make each mathematical statement true. So I know when I'm comparing 4 and 9 to each other, 9 is going to be the bigger value. So this would read left to right as 4 is less than 9. Okay? Now I know when looking at the next one, 0.5 is greater than 0.45. Again, we read it left to right. 0.5 is greater than 0.45. That's how you know that it's the greater than symbol, because it's facing to the left and we read the problem left to right. Okay, -3 is less than -2. Remember, the bigger the negative number, the smaller the value. And then 1.04 is also less than 1.4. You'd rather have $1.40 over here versus $1.04. Right? This one has the bigger value. So 1.04 or $1.04 is less than $1.4, $1.40. Okay, let's get into the our vocab box here. At the very top, our first bullet point says use the variable as the starting point when reading an inequality statement. So you always begin with your letter, your variable. So for example, even if it's switched around, like 6 is less than or equal to x, that needs to be rewritten as x is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, the value hasn't changed. The alligator mouth is still eating your variable. It's just swapped so that your variable is on the left side, which is what we always want. A value can be substituted to determine if the inequality is correct. So just like with equations, sometimes they'll give you the value of your variable and you get to check to see if your inequality is true. So let's go ahead and practice that really quick right here. For this first one, it says x plus 6 is greater than 11 if x equals 5. If I was to plug in 5 for my x, that would be 5 plus 6 is greater than 11. Okay, when I do that math, 5 plus 6 is 11. And is 11 greater than 11? No, they are the same, okay? If that inequality symbol was greater than or equal to, then this would be true, but it's not. So therefore, that inequality is not true. 11 is not bigger than 11. Looking at this next one, if I was to plug in x for my value of 6, I have 7 times x is less than 45. So if I substitute my x for its value, which is 6, I'm going to rewrite this inequality. 7 times 6 I know is 42, and 42 is in fact less than 45, excuse me. So we would say yes, this is true. Those are correct. Okay, continuing on with our notes here, it says determine whether the given value makes this statement true. So again, we're just practicing substitution. We're substituting our value for our variables in to check the inequality to see if it's true. So if I know my value for k, for number 1, it says k is 11, so I'm just going to rewrite it with that value. 11 plus 8 is greater than or equal to 19. Okay, I'm going to solve this part right here. 11 plus 8 is 19, and we're saying that 19 is greater than or equal to 19. Well, that would be true because 19 is equal to 19. It may not be greater than, but it is equal to. So this would be true. Okay. For the next one, I have 12 is greater than f if f equals 3. So I'm going to rewrite that as f is less than 12. So my variable's on the left. And I'm going to replace f with 3. Is 3 less than 12? Yes. So this would be true. Okay, please remember to flip your inequality if your variable's on the right. Just rewrite it with your alligator mouth facing the right number. So the first problem had it eating the 12 because the 12 was bigger. So when you flip your inequality, make sure that your alligator mouth or your inequality symbol is still eating the same number. Okay, number 3, we've got c minus 12 is greater than 30 if c equals 13. So if I replace c with 13, I'm going to solve this. 13 minus 12 is 1, and 1 is definitely not greater than 30, so this is not true. Okay. Moving on to number 4. We have 16 is less than b minus 8. I'm going to rewrite this as b minus 8 is greater than 16, because that's what this symbol is telling me, that it's eating the b minus 8. So b minus 8 has to be bigger than 16. Now I'm going to go ahead and replace my b with my 22. Oops. Okay, now I've got 22 minus 8 is greater than 16. 22 minus 8, I know, is 14, and 14 is not bigger than 16. So therefore, this is not true. Okay, and for question 5, excuse me, I have x divided by 12 is less than or equal to 3 if x equals 48. If I substitute in my value for x, which is 48, over 12, which is less than or equal to 3, I'm going to rewrite that. I know 48 divided by 12 is 4. And is 4 less than or equal to 3? No, this is not true. Okay, and for this last one, I want you guys to go ahead and try to do it all by yourself. Make sure that you do actually do it by yourself, because I'm going to ask you about it when you come to the teacher table. All right, have a good rest of your day.